Here we go again. Here we go again. I always say, man, a little research goes a long, long way, man. Especially when it comes to science and things of that nature. Usually like the popular, trendy thing that everybody's sharing, you know, when it comes to like information. Sometimes it's bullshit. You know, especially if there's like a lot of jokes and humor behind it. But to give a quick summary, I think last night or a couple of nights ago, Joe Rogan came down with COVID. He had a series of symptoms. He said he was in his home, separated himself from the family. He pretty much had an idea of what he may have had, and he just took a series of treatments. He mentioned like 4 or 5 things. I don't remember them all off the top of my head. Some type of antibody treatment and just a few things. Like I said, I can't remember everything off the top of my head. But the one that stood out particularly, it was ivermectin, right? And a lot of these different media outlets, the left, always, they would say, oh, that ivermectin, that's for horses. He's taking some type of medicine that cures worms inside of horses' intestines. And I've heard of people taking different medications that were meant for animals, for themselves, for various reasons. So this ain't nothing. This concept isn't new to me. I've heard of it before. I'm sorry, but I kept seeing it, and I kept seeing like only one side really pushing this, the left. You know what I mean? Like making the jokes and all that. So something told me, I was like, you know what? Let me look up this ivermectin. Let me see what this is all about. And sure enough, it's a pill that helps with worms and things like that in the intestines of animals. I forget. I think it was in. Damn, I had the paperwork right in front of me, man. But don't quote me. But I think it was invented either in the mid 70s or early 80s. I can't remember specifically, but it was invented for animals. But then by 1988, there was another version or variation that was approved by the FDA to be consumed by humans. And since between 1988, and now, and you can look this right up, I think it's on the CDC page, over 700 million Americans took that, or people, not Americans, but over 700 million people took the medicine ivermectin. Whether it's effective against COVID or whether it's not, that's not my point. The point I'm trying to make is people see one thing, one trigger thing, or you know what I mean, they want to try to discredit somebody, disparage them, and disprove them, so they just run with some bullshit without doing any type of research. You know, Joe has always been a major proponent in strengthening one's immune system by taking B12, vitamin C, vitamin D, working out and exercising regularly, and having a positive mindset. He has a similar mindset as myself as far as when it comes to vaccinations and things of that nature, and just sickness in general, to do preventative maintenance so you don't have to do anything major as far as like vaccines and treatments, or you know, as much as possible try to put yourself in a position where you don't have to do any major maintenance on yourself before you get to that sickly point. But you know, people just want to discredit and make jokes, but even it was like the news outlets are like, these pills are for horses and it's dangerous for humans and blah blah blah. Yes, if he took the horse version, but it was approved for humans, they have a human version, just like they got dog biscuits and they got human biscuits, and they got bacon strips and they got bacon strips. They got dog food and they got human food. You know what I'm saying? Like, and this is the wild thing of I think Joe, like he said like 4 or 5 different treatments that you know, he took once he realized he had COVID. But why is it that they're only focusing on that one thing? They're not talking about, I think the antibody treatment, I forget what it's called, but from what I heard, it's like extremely expensive and only like really wealthy people can afford it. But You know what I mean? But nobody's really talking about that. Out of the 5 things that he said he's doing to his body, they're only keying in and focusing on this one thing, and they're keying in and focusing on it erroneously. Because he's not taking horse medication. It's funny. It's humorous that originally it was designed for animals, but they modified and made something more suitable for humans. That's why over 700 million humans took it. Now, as stated before, will it lessen COVID symptoms? I don't know any of that shit. Like, my whole thing is just trying to be resistant towards it before you get to that point by taking care of yourself, taking vitamins, blah, 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 blah. And when I had COVID, the most I did, my sister made me some wonderful soup, but the most I did was I stayed hydrated, I stayed isolated, I was taking my Dayquil. NyQuil made me hallucinate too much. I was taking my Dayquil on a regular basis, taking my Tylenol, and just, you know, just letting the body fight this shit out for like a few days, you know? And it's a good thing that like most of us that come across it don't pass away. It's very unfortunate, the few that have passed away, man. You know what I mean? But just moving forward, like none of us live forever, you know? So just moving forward, man, this whole situation should just serve as a model with how human beings should take care of themselves in the form of how they eat, in the form of sanitation, and in the form of just like a positive mindset in general moving forward, so that whenever we come across anything like this again in the future, we'll be more physically ready, and there won't be as many people with comorbidities dealing with this situation, so they can get through it, you know, and they can survive. But stop looking at memes and just jumping out the window. You know what they say? Oh, there's so many pseudo epidemiologists on Facebook, blah 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 blah. But like, yo, it's not really hard to read information and cross-reference information and kind of make it make sense to yourself, and then, you know, compare and contrast it with actual studies. You don't have to be a fucking genius to learn. You don't have to be a genius to learn. And they explain a lot of these things in layman's terms, so we can pretty much grasp and get an idea and get a feel for it. You know, I hate the dismissive, well, you're not an expert, so you're not allowed to have any opinion on anything at all. Even if I've read some shit and I'm comparing and I'm contrasting and I'm showing you things that seem to work and statistics and things of that nature and things that have worked in myself and in other people that I know, what have you. I hate this and it'd be like motherfuckers with the dismissive attitude, they don't got credentials neither. It's like, who the fuck made y'all emperors, man? Like, but you know what? In times of crisis, man, it just lets you know who the real motherfuckers is and who the bullshit motherfuckers is. And we already know what it is. We already know what time it is, man. Like, yo, just do like a little bit of, yo, I literally, because I kept seeing it, I kept seeing the horse jokes, and I kept seeing it, you know what I mean? So I was like, you know what? Let me just look at this. I was like, there's no way in hell Joe is going to advocate using some shit that's only meant for animals on a public platform like that with as big of reach as he has. And you know what? Even through all that, he didn't say don't get vaccinated. He didn't call people that get vaccinated stupid or anything like that. That's just a personal choice he's making with his body, and he's an advocate of people just doing the best for what they feel is for themselves, right? Because at the end of the day, and I said this in a couple of videos, we can't shrink ourselves down to a molecular or cellular level to see all the shit that's going on and to know what's right and what's wrong. So at the end of the day, the choices that you make as far as this COVID situation and as far as your health, ultimately, I mean, before you even get, I mean, if you're going to go after just strengthening your immune system, so, because nobody talks about that, so we ain't gonna talk about that. But, you know, as far as treatments and things of that nature, even the doctors themselves don't really know, because the shit just keeps changing from mask to no mask to double mask to one shot to a second shot to a booster shot to you need to wear the mask with the shot to you need to wear a double mask with the shot to you can't spread it if you're vaccinated to you can spread it if you're vaccinated. Till you have the same exact viral load as somebody who isn't vaccinated. Till there are people that are vaccinated, they still on the hospital on ventilators. It might be more people that aren't vaccinated that are in a hospital, like in critical condition or whatever, but they never even break down those numbers. Because even when you break that down, how many of those people are elderly? How many of those people have comorbidities? How many of those people are obese and have prior medical issues? I'm willing to bet when you break all that shit down, all that shit factors into it. When they say 78% of the people that are like extremely sick with COVID in the hospital are unvaccinated, I don't know, 78% of the people are obese that are in the hospitals. And I guess they happen to all be unvaccinated, but that just tells me that a lot more people need to get in shape. I keep telling y'all, use professional sports across all levels as a model. Not saying we got to be super athletes, but no major super athlete has passed away from this COVID. So that tells me that's the small sample right there that human beings in general need to start trying to model themselves after. If you're morbidly obese and you're clearly out of shape, and you get the shot, and you trying to shame and like tell people to do shit, it's like, yo, you COVID is the least of your worries. What other things? What is it called? Is it called convenient diseases? I know I'm using the word wrong. Opportunistic and opportunistic infections you can get besides just COVID, just because you're a fat cigarette smoking lazy motherfucker, or you're a hard drug using motherfucker. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. But I don't want to go back into my old video. But just do a little research. Cause you look stupid if you don't know what the fuck you talking about. You're making certain comments or whatever. You're sharing certain things, and it's just total lies. Or Joe didn't take no fucking horse drug. It was a drug constructed for horses in the 70s, but when it was approved for humans, and over 700 million people took it, I guess it's 700 million stupid motherfuckers, and there's 700 million prescriptions that was stupid as fuck that were written for human beings with medication that was designed for. I'm out, man. Peace.